between the beaches, the community, the national parks. It's just a wonderful place, particularly to bring up a family. Nice. Marla, you could swap spots with Kush.
Dan Backer has lived on the far south coast of New South Wales for 25 years. He and his partner Gabby Rose have always rented.
You guys want a drink?
So we've been saving up for the best part of 10 years, and about 18 months ago we hit a milestone where we were finally ready to start looking around and seeing what the market looked like.
With a $100,000 deposit, the couple were looking for a fixer-upper or block of land to build on. In preparation for building or renovating, they bought a retrofitted bus, thinking it could serve as temporary accommodation.
The wheels on the bus go round and round and round.
Their price range was $300,000 to $400,000.
Unfortunately, at the same time, prices started to go through the roof. It was evident that we were going to struggle to afford anything at all.
House prices in the Bega Valley went up almost 22% last financial year to a median price of almost $650,000.
For a regional family making do with regional incomes, you know, we have to work a lot harder, a lot longer and do with less down here.
CoreLogic data shows home values in regional Australia rose 17.7% in the year to June 30, compared with a 12.4% rise in the capital cities. This was largely driven by the eastern states. Regional New South Wales saw a 21% rise. Regional Tasmanian prices grew by 20.8%, and regional Queensland and Victoria weren't far behind. Dan Backer and his family are now back renting, locked into a 12-month lease with a bus they don't need.
It certainly feels like we're being priced out of our local area.
This has been exacerbated with COVID-19, with people seeking those areas, getting away again from the capital cities, not only because of COVID and changes in preferences, but because those markets tend to be more affordable than the capital cities.
Economist Maria Iannotti has been researching regional housing markets during COVID. She says low interest rates and government stimulus have kept the housing market ticking over, but the pandemic and lockdowns have also changed demand. More people can work from home and many want more space.
So people are just staying in the regions where they grew up rather than trying options in the city.
Ray Young and Charlotte Boatwright have been looking for a house since May last year.
This one in West Launceston, nice brick home.
With a 20% deposit, the teacher and speech pathologist thought they'd easily be able to find something in Launceston, where Ray grew up.
It just keeps rising. The prices become higher and higher for the properties that we're kind of looking for.
House prices in the northeast of Tasmania have risen 28% in a year. Ray and Charlotte could borrow more, but they don't want to struggle to pay off their mortgage if interest rates rise. Instead, they've spent almost every Saturday for the past year at open homes.
We've now just put Launceston as a greater region, and sort of if it's land or if it's a house, then we'll look into it.
They're in a good rental situation while they house hunt, but not everyone is so lucky. Regional rent prices have also grown by a higher percentage than capital city rents over the past year, and there's not much around.
We're seeing vacancy rates below 2 or even 1.5%, so very hard to get a place to rent.
Maria Iannotti says regional areas can have more narrow employment opportunities, lower wages, and more socio-economic disadvantage than capital cities.
Fair bit of discussion about how this pandemic has exacerbated inequality and the differences between those that have more and those that have less.
I wanted somewhere that was affordable, so we came up here and I had a look around and fell in love with it.
Adele Graham has been renting on the New South Wales Central Coast for 13 years.
Sit. Good girl.
She and her 3 children had to move out of their Gosford home last year when their landlord hit financial stress.
There wasn't a lot out there and the prices were rising. There were times where I was struggling to sleep at night. We were really lucky, though, to get anything at all.
The family had to move half an hour away to find something affordable, but the rent is $100 more per week and there are only 3 bedrooms.
We are lucky we have a second living area upstairs, and I have had to try and convert that to a bedroom space for now.
Adele Graham works 9 days a fortnight as a financial counsellor. Even with the recent increase to Commonwealth rent assistance, she spends almost half her weekly income on rent and water.
There are families up on the coast that are homeless at the moment because there's not enough properties.
The most recent federal budget included an extra 10,000 places for first homeowners to build or buy a new home with a 5% deposit. It also included 10,000 family home guarantees for single parents to buy with a 2% deposit, and superannuation incentives to help younger Australians enter the property market and older Australians downsize.
We are now seeing professional people who have never in their lives imagined that they would have housing insecurity are simply not able to rent, let alone buy. So the preoccupation even with buying is completely flawed. And it's actually one of the reasons that we have a completely broken housing system.
Michelle Adair is the chair of the Community Housing Industry Association in New South Wales. She's been on the brink of homelessness before and says the policy focus on getting Australians into ownership is flawed.
And is probably artificially fueling the market and creating instability. So we are seeing more and more people being so heavily geared that it is extremely dangerous.
In a statement, the Federal Housing Minister Michael Sukar said budget measures were helping regional homebuyers save for a deposit, and the government was also spending $9 billion on rent assistance and homelessness support over the next year. He said the Home Builder scheme had also outperformed in regional areas. But the scheme is for owner-occupiers. Michelle Adair says it won't be creating the targeted affordable housing that's needed.
We have to embrace the fact that having a safe, secure, affordable home is a human right, and that housing is not purely a wealth creation vehicle for people that are already probably wealthy enough or privileged enough to be in the ownership market.
For those feeling priced out, concerns are turning to the next generation.
Sometimes my thoughts go into where are we going to be in 20, 30 years when our children are looking to get into the market? What kind of legacy will we be leaving for them as parents, but also as a community?
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.